All right, Rob, how do I use Scrum to reduce administrative overhead? What do you think about that?
Oh man, that's a really weird question. I would love to have asked a few more questions from the person who asked it.
Right?
So let me go back to some of the Scrum theory. Scrum is based in part in lean thinking.
Yep.
And lean in general is about removing waste, getting the same value delivered with the same quality with fewer steps and fewer costs. A common problem you find in Scrum teams is that they still have a lot of administrative work that they have to do because they were told they have to do it. And so I guess my thought around that is multiple dimensioned here. So one, if the administrative work has to do with meetings you have to show up to, is it possible that these meetings make sense in your Scrum events? For example, status
Right.
reports, right? I mean, a status report is, hey, where are we with this thing? Why not just come to the sprint review and see actual progress?
Right.
Here's what we've been spending our time on.
Yeah, or deciding what to do next. I've seen that a lot too with Scrum teams that spend all these extra meetings deciding on their strategic planning or product backlog ordering. It's like, let's discuss this at the sprint review. It's not just a demo. It's here's what we built, and now here's what we should do next. So yeah, leveraging the Scrum events to take the place of other meetings, I think, is step one.
Yeah.
What else?
Other administrative work. Sometimes paperwork is something that has to be done. Like, let's say, for example, I ran into a team once where they had to each report the amount of hours that they spent as developers doing support work, engineering work, design work, bug fixing, whatever. They had to break it down by their hours, and it was a painful process. They had some piece of software that they had to fill in, and they were like, "Hey, this is wasting an hour or two per week per developer."
Yep, been there.
Yeah. So, in situations like that, you have to ask why at least a couple of times, right? The Taiichi Ono, ask five whys sort of thing to find the root cause of an issue.
Yep.
And so I started asking why, and the developers had no idea. So then I asked their project manager. That project manager had no idea. So I asked the project manager's boss, and they gave me a clue that it had something to do with an old project manager, and they built this system, but they didn't know why exactly. And so it led me up to the chief financial officer. And so I'm like, look, we've got a team. They're accounting for their hours in this particular way. It doesn't make sense necessarily because the way we're doing it is more team focused, not individual focused. And we're not working in waterfall where it makes sense to talk about spending 3 months doing design.
Sure.
We're doing all this within one sprint. And so the chief financial officer was like, oh, that whole thing. He explained to me the way their accounting practices worked and basically went like this. Accounting, from a generally accepted accounting practices standpoint, basically wants you to account for all your work like waterfall, because it was based on
Right.
waterfall.
That's what it's built on.
Yep. And so design work, development work, this is stuff that you can put on the balance sheet as an asset because you have software that lives for a long period of time and you need to depreciate its value on your taxes.
You're doing software cap. Yeah.
Software capitalization is the topic we kind of ran into here. Support work, that's just like taking your client out to dinner. You can expense that in the period in which you incurred that expense. And so once we realized that, the lighter weight solution we found was just, hey, look at the story points you did in that sprint, divide it up as a team. Such percent was bug work, such percent was design or development work. And just as long as we're consistent, the CFO was fine.
And
so that's what we did, simplified the system, moved on.
Click the thumbs up to let us know you like the video. Subscribe if you'd like more of our videos in your feed. And maybe even hit that bell to get notified when we've got more videos for you.
Sometimes YouTube notifications don't actually go out and you won't be notified. So we've solved this problem. Click the link in the description to join our exclusive mailing list so we can send you an email every time one of our newest videos comes out. You'll be glad you did.